Hey everyone, welcome to it's Friday. It's 3 o'clock. We have a lot to go over. There's been one a week for the books, for the history books. I know we say it all the time every week, as it's nowadays a week for the history books. But this one, it ranks up there. We had a lot going on. I mean, let's take it back. Let's start from the very beginning. First of all, today is a special day. I have something lined up for you guys because of certain breaking news and certain things that are happening as a way. And I know it's been a lot of things have been happening as a way to thank all our paid subscribers. Right after this live, I'm going to do a special story time with Lev, and with it there'll be chapter 24. Chapter 24 is an interesting chapter, and the reason I chose that one is a chapter that has to do with Venezuela. A lot of you might not know, those of you that haven't read the book or haven't seen the movie documentary, or haven't maybe been following closely, but I was involved in the negotiations between then president, who is currently still not the president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, with then Congressman Pete Sessions, Rudy Giuliani, on behalf of Donald Trump, working on a soft landing until Bolton found out. And anyway, I'm not gonna tell you everything, but I'm gonna save it. It's a very important chapter, especially with some of the breaking news that's happening. But anyway, let's start from the beginning. So as we were, I feel this is kind of a little story time to starting off, because this week was, as we started off our Mondays celebrating Labor Day, celebrating a day for, people that fought for their rights to be able, the 8-hour work days, the rights to be able to work, at the same time, the same, felon in office, I call him, the guy that used laborers as a tool, was in hiding. There was rumors going around that he's dead, that something's wrong with him. Then on Tuesday, before he came on Tuesday, I'm sorry, going back to Monday, while we were celebrating Labor Day, halfway across the world in China, there was a dictator meeting happening. A dictator meeting happening between Russia, Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong Un from North Korea, the president of China, Xi, Modi from the prime minister of India, um, the president of Turkey, Erdogan, who was also a NATO country, and several other. But majority of the other countries, Iran was represented there, Azerbaijan, what's it called, Armenia, all of these, countries that tend to have a dictator as their leaders, and that's why I call it the Dictator Summit. The only person that was the interesting people that were new to this summit this year was India's Modi, and North Korea's Kim Jong Un. These are two individuals for different reasons. First of all, Modi hasn't, China and India have a very bad relationship. They've literally went to war over borders about 5 years ago. And North Korea, well, I don't have to go into the long story about North Korea and how he's been shunned and used, and the way he doesn't leave North Korea rarely. But he took his bulletproof train and traveled to this dictator summit. But the one person that wasn't invited to the summit, and the one person that was talked about the summit, was our dictator in office, Donald J. Trump. And it was because of his actions, because of certain things that he's been doing over the past 6 months that we've been reporting, talking about here live on Substack. We're starting now to see the results. We're starting to see things starting to play out. And this week we saw a lot of them play out. And one of them being this dictator summit, because it was a show of force. It was basically a middle finger to Donald Trump. It was an FU to America, where you had dictators sitting there talking about how we are the bullies. that not them, but we are the bullies. That Donald Trump, that America is the bully, and people should start, stop doing, the country should stop doing business with us. This week, all week, Donald Trump was getting hammered with the courts. The courts are against him, ruling against him on almost everything he's doing, and he's defying the courts. Just like typically on a weekly thing. But the other things Donald Trump was doing is, and he said it out loud, is he was watching. He came out and said they did the summit for me to watch, and I was watching. And the responses Donald Trump did to these while he was watching, one of the responses was he basically wished Russia, North Korea, and every best of luck, or while they're conspiring against the United States. He also said that the parade, and my sources tell me that just think about one thing that Donald Trump was still amazed to see, and he was is the parade, the military parade, because remember, he was trying to hold his own military parade, which was a flop for his birthday. But watching that, and even on camera, he couldn't resist by saying it was very, very impressive. But behind the scenes, he was very, pissed off that he can't do the same thing. So he was pissed off, and it got to him. Besides not seeing him for a week, another thing I want to update you on is that he does have health issues. He's not dying. He's not dead. It's not to. I don't want to take it to a degree where it becomes a conspiracy theory. But he is, because of his age, because of his diet. Like I said, don't listen to what they tell you. You just watch what he does. They could tell you, that he's as healthy as a cat all day long, but you could see how he walks. You could see what he eats. You could see how he talks. You could see his facial. You could see the bruises. You could see that obviously he is not the image of a perfectly fit, healthy man. So is his health declining? Absolutely. And that also has to do a lot of not only because of his age, because of his schedule that he keeps, but, also other things. He's on different type of medication, cholesterol and other things, and side effects. So anyway, his age is declining, folks. I can tell you that for a fact. But he's not dying tomorrow. So don't go out there thinking that you could celebrate because of his death. He's not. He's not that unhealthy. Next, then on Wednesday, we had an incredible, powerful day. It was really a day to remember, a day in history, where we had the survivors, the Epstein survivors, gather on Capitol Hill and speak truth to power. Talk, some of them being out there for the very first time, sharing their stories. But out of it all, the most important thing is how they were pleading with the president, because it didn't matter, if they were Democrats, Republicans. They all said the same thing. This is not a political issue. We're all human beings. We're all women. We were all children. We were all abused, and you are our president, and we're asking you. They were pleading with him, standing on there. And in response, this piece of shit, because there's no other way, and I apologize, to call him, on that day decided to do whatever he could to try to disrupt it. From sending in, flyovers to while they were making their speeches, to holding a press conference simultaneously while they were pleading for their truth to come out, for the standing there on Capitol Hill, less than a mile away from the White House, literally across the street, with a bipartisan group of people that you would never imagine even standing there. We had Marjorie Taylor Greene standing there. We had, Massey standing there. We had Ro Khanna standing there. You had Democrats, Republicans alike, because, like I said, it's not a political issue. We're all parents. We're all human beings. Well, not all of us. Some of us are monsters like Donald Trump and some of his administration. And instead of, coming out there and, doing what he preaches, saying that he's there for everybody and out there to get the truth, because he could have came out there, he could have invited those survivors to the Oval, he could have had them come in, and he could have listened. But instead, he chose to double down, quadruple down. Instead, he went ahead, and when the reporter asked him in the Oval while he was sitting there with the president of Poland, he again went and said that this was a Democratic hoax. that they need to stop it. They did that the Epstein stuff, while the survivors literally are standing within a voice shot's view of you, that you could see them through your window, begging for you to listen to their story, while your own loyalists like Nancy Mace, that ran out crying, couldn't sit there and listen, ran out there crying because of what she heard behind closed doors. Where when Paula Luna, another one of your loyalists, comes out there and basically says that there's a lot of powerful people that need to be held accountable because for the thousands of victims. When your own Marjorie Taylor Greene goes on television on CNN and says that I called the president and I literally told him that instead of having these pedophiles and or monsters in the Oval, he needs to bring in these survivors. He needs to listen to the stories. And what did he do? He again. I mean, I'm going to read something that what he did in a little bit, how he responded to this, because on Wednesday he was doubling down, calling it a hoax. But then came Thursday, folks. You know, and Thursday was a pretty big day. It started off with me waking up and all of a sudden seeing RFK on the big on TV and out there, and I almost to myself I couldn't believe when I realized, because I we're so busy constantly talking about Ukraine, Trump's things that he's doing. I'm trying to give you talking about with my sources. The one thing that I really haven't been paying attention to much, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, and something I try to stick to facts that I know about, is RFK. And when I sat there and as I was starting to write my Substack letter in the morning, I started watching what was going on, and I started realizing, and then I started searching and looking. I couldn't believe it that Florida, the state that I live in, basically came out because of the policies and the things that RFK is pushing, canceled all what's it called, vaccines, all vaccines, and I was almost shocked. My wife said to me, "I can't believe what's going on." I mean, we have a lunatic that's right now running our, health department, that is basically saying that he walks through an airport and uh, saw somebody, a child there, and he could say if they're sick. I mean, the shit that was coming out of his mouth. I mean, I was really, really astonished, and I made some phone calls, and we were able to have Congressman Ruiz from District 25 in California on yesterday, right after, literally while he was testifying. Congressman Ruiz is also a doctor, Harvard graduate, also somebody that served on the front line, and somebody that was part of the subcommittee on the coronavirus. And he came out and he gave us such a warning, said that I said, holy shit. I'm saying to you that besides what they're trying to do, I mean, they're literally what we fought, besides our rights, but what science has progressed over the past century to be able to give a prolonged life, to give us comfortability, to be able to go out in public, go out into schools, and not worry about getting sick, not worry about getting our children sick, and not worry about spreading all these diseases like measles and things that we don't even talk about. They're literally wanting it to bring it back. Just like they're trying to bring us back to take away women's rights, take away our civil liberty rights, take away our constitution rights, take away our voting rights. Now I'm starting to realize they're trying to take away also our right to be able to have normal health system, because they're trying to put under the pretense that, oh, listen, you could still go get vaccine if you want to, but they're not telling you the consequences of all the kids and all the elderly and the people that can't get a vaccine. And that's why we need the herd immunity. That's why we need everybody to be vaccinated, kids, because there's so many kids that can't, because they either have allergicness or to be able to protect not only each other but others. And then I forgot what the congressman's name, but McMullen, I think, or I mean, but total asshole comes out and says the reason we have measles is because of the border crisis. And he doesn't even hear the shit that he says, because he says that unvaccinated kids, the kids came across the border and gave us measles. First of all, he's an asshole because that's not the case. But even if he's thinking about, so what he's saying is because they were unvaccinated is why we're getting sick. So then why are you trying to unvaccinate all of us? Why are you trying to take away? And then if they don't tell you what happens is the insurances are not going to start covering it because now it's not mandatory to be vaccinated. I mean, the list and the chain of events that goes on is huge, huge. And yesterday, so we're going to be sounding the alarm, and we're going to be dealing with that also here at Love Remembers, because that's something that is just, I mean, there's no explanation for it. It's just like Laura, exactly. It's just stupid. There's no other way to say it, but it's just plain stupid, idiotic. Uh, but then something else happened yesterday. And this is a big one that we're going to talk about, spend some time on today. Besides Venezuela, besides everything else, uh, yesterday there was, and I wrote today in my Substack letter. For those of you that did not get a chance to read it, I want to make sure and let you know. Make sure you go out and you read it today. It's called "Another Deadline, Another Illusion." Trump's dictator dreams collapse. Oh, wrong one. Sorry, that's another good one you need to read. But the one I'm talking about is I wrote last night. It's called "Breaking DOJ Insider Caught Confirming Epstein Cover-Up." Now that's a doozy, folks. And today I'm going to share some stuff with you because for the past several months, we've been, especially here at Love Remembers, and all of you that subscribe and follow, have been watching how I've been telling you certain things that are happening behind the scenes in this whole Epstein thing. Our sources have been breaking some incredible stories about Dan Bongino and others. And yesterday, something incredible happened. That we had James O'Keefe, the owner of Project Veritas. For those of you that might not know, it's a group that I would never quote, never talk about. They usually run conspiracy theories. Not only that, but I know them very well. When I used to be part of Mega, and when we were doing, this was the group that was bringing me stuff that had to do with Pizzagate and all of this stuff. So this is a hardcore Mega, hardcore right group that came out with a report yesterday, and we're gonna spend some time breaking it down and going over that whole report and what it means and everything like that. But before we go into it, I have something I want to share, some special news, some not so great news, but some news with you guys, because a lot of you have been sending out asking me how is Alexander, how's he doing, how's everything, because we haven't been doing our Voice from Ukraine live. And I just want to give you an update quickly as part of what's going on. So first of all, he's been a little bit under the weather. He's been also working on putting together the trip. He's going on Dnipropetrovsk. They've been getting hit constantly hard while, this is all happening. One of the things that, I didn't mention, and I apologize, is that every day, Ukraine is continuously getting bombarded. And I write that in my Substack letters to bring you up to speed in our Voice from Ukraine letter. But we haven't been doing our Voice from Ukraine lives for the past several days. This week is because Oleg is not only has been along the weather, he's also been working on the trip to try and prepare to, even though supplies and the aid that we've raised has already gone there, but he's going there to personally distribute some of it in some of the hardest hit areas. But we also have a little bad news that the place that Alexander lives in, he has to move. He has to move out of the place, and he has to find a different place to live. The family that was renting the place for Alexander basically needs it back because of their own family that needs a place to live. That their place got bombed, and now they don't have a place to stay. So they've right now they're all living together. I think they're living like two, three families in one place, and Alex has to now find a place and get out and go. So Alex is, while doing this, is dealing with some of his own stuff. Cindy, I appreciate one of the ways I think what I'm think we should do, and I'm planning on doing because he's not going to do it, but maybe we'll put together for him a GoFundMe, because we do the GoFundMe's to help everybody else, but sometimes we forget that Alex himself doesn't have a job. He doesn't get money from anywhere. He basically is under fire himself, and maybe we could do something special for him, and put together a GoFundMe just specifically for him to help him move, get his family situated, and get him in a position, because even though he's my cousin, but I could tell you as a human being, he risks his life every day, not only for the people, just think about it. He has to move himself. He's going, not feeling well. And right now, he is doing whatever he can to still go to Dnipropetrovsk to make sure that the aid that we raised, that GoFundMe for, gets delivered to all the hardest hit area, because that's how it is over there now. Everybody, one hand helps each other. And so that's one of the things I wanted to share with everybody, all of you here. So in the next couple of days, I'm going to try to figure out what we could do to help him to be able, because we need him to be our voice there. We need him to be also able to continue doing what we do, besides helping him as a humanitarian, but also to continue doing it. Also, some good positive news on Voice from Ukraine. I've been speaking to my dear friend Ben Milas from the Midas Touch, and we're putting together. We're gonna start putting Voice from Ukraine on the Midas Touch network to be able to expand it, to be able to get it out to more and more millions of people, to expand it. So besides you having the exclusive here on Voice from Ukraine original Substack, we are going to now be expanding to the Midas Touch network, partnering up with them to be able to get the news out far and wide. So that's some good news. So lots of things happening. So make sure, definitely, guys, for those of you that are already part of the family, subscribing. God bless each and every one of you. I see you. Your messages, your DMs means more than I could ever explain to you. Also, a little before we get into some of this important stuff that we're going to get into about yesterday's breaking news that we broke about. This DOJ official that basically confirmed everything that we've been talking about. Also, is I think the Lev Remember store folks should be fixed in the next. Give it another 72 hours because of being honest, because of our not being technically inclined. I guess we did something wrong and not connected to the distributor or whatever, but everything's getting fixed right now, and all your orders, I know from everybody that ordered the books, the t-shirts and everything, I'm just letting you know it all is going to go out. Just bear with me another couple of days, and we should have that all fixed up, and then you should be getting emails, and the merchandise should be start going out. If any of you can't wait, want a refund, just DM me. I'll make sure that happens also right away. But I wanted to oh, that's a great idea. I should definitely do a Princess Peach and Bobby for you guys. That's a great idea. And Princess Peach is the superstar around here, I could see. But yeah, so that's a little housewarming. So this way you guys know, and we're getting everything fixed. But yes, so With all of that said, oh, and also for those of you that are joining that don't know, right after this, make sure I hope your schedules are absolutely available, because right after we do our live update, we're going to switch over and do just the paid subscribers for a special story time with Lev. So those of you that have not become paid subscribers yet, now is a really good time, because today's chapter is an extremely interesting and important one, having to do with Venezuela, having to do with my interactions with Maduro and Venezuela and Trump. And also right after that, we're going to do a 15-20 minute Q&A. So again, for paid subscribers only. So today is a special day to end of the week for all you guys do. We're going to do the special paid subscribers story time with Lev and Q&A right after we do our a live update for the week. So Venezuela, let's talk about quickly a little bit about what's going on in Venezuela. For a lot of people that might know, because we speak a lot about Ukraine, we speak a lot about what happened with the Epstein stuff, but Venezuela is, we have currently warships, excuse me, that Trump has sent over to the Venezuela, they're standing on the coast of Venezuela that we're almost at war with, and there's a reason for it. A lot of people might say, why are we going to war with Venezuela? What possible reason? The other thing that happened a few days ago, which was part of a two-part plan, from what my sources are telling me, is first of all, Trump during well, I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday, to distract from the Epstein survivors speaking, one of his ploys was he put out a video of us blowing up, the United States blowing up a ship in international waters. Basically, like a little ship that was carrying 11 people and possibly some drugs. And he put out a video where we have a gunship basically goes down there, and it's basically blows up 11 people killed. Now, folks, I just want to say right away, it doesn't matter if there were terrorists, it doesn't matter who was on that ship. I mean, we cannot live in a society where just because Trump decided that there's somebody bad on that ship, that he's going to send a missile and wipe out, kill 11 people. I mean, what happened to arresting them? What happened to due process? What happened to stopping it? It's we've reached a point where it's, we're basically, we are a dictatorship. We're no different than Russia. We're no different than North Korea. This is something that would happen in North Korea. I mean, if you would come to on a ship too close to North Korea borders, I don't think they would arrest you or talk to you. They would send a missile, wipe you out. Similar to Russia, similar to China, and other, maybe not even, maybe we might be even worse than that. I mean, to think about, but there's a reason he's doing that. As crazy, as absurd as that, there's a reason he's doing it. This is all part of, again, Project 2025. This is a setup because, folks, he understands. He understands that there's no way he is going to win the midterms. Not only are the polls, not only are his own people telling him, I mean, he's not stupid. He understands that right now, even though there's no leadership in the Democratic Party, there doesn't need to be a huge leadership when it comes to individual races. And individual races, right now, he understands that some of those states, especially between the bill that he pushed through, between the immigration stuff that he's doing, taking people off the street, between the liberty and the rights he takes away from us every day, the tariffs. I mean, the job numbers just came out today. Looks like we might be going into recession. Just think about that. I mean, and I could go on and on. Our health system, what he is allowing RFK to do, with all of those things that he's doing. Just think about, going out there, and then the reason why he's doing it is because he needs something to be able to. And I'm going to take you back to, remember when he was sitting in the Oval with Vladimir Zelensky? And there was a question asked to Vladimir Zelensky saying that they tried to push him on elections, saying during the war, you're not holding elections. And Donald Trump picked up on that very quickly and said, "How?" He said, "During so 3.5 years, if there's a war going on, there's no elections." And Zelensky picked up and said, "Start live." Said, "Wouldn't you have liked that?" Yes, he would like that. That's exactly why he's doing it. What my sources are telling me, folks, is this is being set up directly so that when 2026 comes around the corner, when he fears and he sees that even though his dictatorship ways of, stopping mail-in voting, intimidation of ICE, and then once he sees that's not helping him, he's still about to lose, he's gonna and say that we're at war. We're at war with Venezuela. We're at war with the Venezuelan cartel. That is why they have now issued Maduro a bounty on his head. That's why they're issuing him, that $50 million bounty. This is all a setup to be able to then announce a fictitious war against Venezuela, to be able to then stop either the elections, martial law, whatever the legal aspect of it is for it to be able to stop from what we're doing. So just think about that. So that's why story time with Lev is very important today. That's why I think it's a very big treat, and you guys will appreciate what we talk about and the Q&A. So it's a thank you for all of you that are paid subscribers, and those that are asking. I see some of you are asking, how do you do it? You can hit the right on top the Lev Parnas Lev Remembers button on top, and it takes you. You could subscribe. You could become a paid subscriber. There's a lot of different options, and like I said, the most important thing is we want to make sure to spread the word, to get out. That's what the platform's about. And in our platform, for those of you that are new, we are all a family, and we all do what we can. Those of us that can't become paid subscribers or that can't contribute, go out and spread the message. Go out and make the phone calls. And those that can, do become paid subscribers, contribute to the Venmos and the Zelles, because they allow me to then be able to get the information to everybody. And like this, as teamwork, as one big team, we're able to, not only are we the top platform on Substack, in the top five forever, but we're also now partnering up with some of the bigger groups that now can't don't want to just report on our stuff, but want to actually give it, because people are starting to realize that our information here is not just some information that I'm giving my opinion, but it's stuff from, like they say, from the horse's mouth. And again, it's only thanks to each and every one of you, because I could scream as much as I want. Nobody will listen. But because of each and every one of you that go out there and make the phone calls, go out there, spread the message, restack it, and go to more. Yeah, I know who you are. And when the time comes, if you want me, I would love to, start having some of you up on my live Substack, because of some of the incredible work you guys do by making the phone calls, setting up the appointments, having, I hear it, believe me. I get calls from a lot of these congressmen saying, Lev, tell your people to stop calling us because they're flooding our phone lines, but it's working. But you know what I say to them? I'm not going to tell them to stop, because we're only getting started, because we're going to keep calling until we see change. We're going to stop when we see change. We're going to stop when we get our country back. But we're going to stop when we get our democracy back. Until then, we're not going to stop. Until then, we're going to keep calling. We're going to get louder and louder, stronger and stronger, more powerful. And trust me, we're only getting started, because, like I said, I know I keep saying it, and I wish I could have had some better news sooner, but I'm working behind the scenes. I'm putting something big together. I'm trying to put something we're going to go on the ground, something that's going to be very important for the 2026, to make sure that if there's, with God's willing, with help, that he doesn't inflict martial law, that we're able to have some sort of an election, that we're out there and we're able to win strong, and not just the House. We need to take this, we need to go strong and take the Senate, the House, because if we take both, folks, then we could actually make a difference by impeaching and getting rid of him, and not just what's it called. So that's why 2026 is going to be more important than anything ever, and we're gearing up for it now, not a year from now, not 5 months from now. And there's other things on the plate, like October 17th coming up. No Kings 2.0 and other marches. So we're just getting started. And that's why, keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And together, we're going to save our democracy. We're going to keep speaking truth to power. I promise you that. And so now I want to start off by this. I want to play a video for you guys. For those of you that might have that have read my Substack, I put it in the Substack. For those of you that haven't, this is I want you to read, because we're going to talk about it and we're going to dissect this, because this is a very important video that came out yesterday. This is some big news, breaking news about. A DOJ, basically, chief operator. What is his title? He is a DOJ official. Basically, gets caught on a hidden camera. But I'm gonna let you watch it, and then we're gonna talk about the hidden camera, because this wasn't just a regular hidden camera. This wasn't a regular group, and we're gonna talk about all of this. So let me try to set this up for you guys for a second. See if we could do this. Hold on a second. Let me get this. Hold on a second.
This file still exists.
Hold on a second. Bear with me, guys. Let me see a better way of doing it. Okay, let's try like this. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. I think you should be able to see it and read it. All right. There you go. All right. I think that's good, right? All right. Here we go.
Those files do exist.
Yes, thousands and thousands to page 5. So we got every Republican or conservative person in those files. Leave all the liberal Democratic people in those files.
We think we did that Knoxville person.
Yeah.
And also involved.
Got transferred to a minimum security clearance recently, which is against BOP policy, because she's like flipping sex or something. Keep a bunch of it.
That was the acting deputy chief of the Office of Enforcement Operations, Joseph Schnitt, telling a stranger about the FBI and DOJ's handling of the Epstein files. Schnitt, who works at a high level inside the Department of Justice, goes on to comment on the inconsistent statements, special treatment of Ghislaine Maxwell, and the blatant backtracking on promises of transparency.
What do you call it?
Okay. 23 handlers. Acting deputy chief of our office for a few months. So I think next week we're closely by all the federal law enforcement agencies, the U.S. Attorney's offices, the prosecutors and stuff. The city has such as was up to deal with stuff. These needs to what their opportunities.
These are
U.S. Attorney's office.
Recently, the FBI and DOJ have come under fire for promising transparency, then refusing to release footage and unredacted documents, going directly against the public's expectations and the promises made by Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel. In a DOJ press release, Attorney General Pam Bondi stated, quote, "This Department of Justice is following through on President Trump's commitment to transparency and lifting the veil on the disgusting actions of Jeffrey Epstein and his co-conspirators," unquote, and also claimed they were shedding light on Epstein's extensive network, only to later claim that Epstein was acting alone, and that the only video evidence they had was of Epstein's personal child porn collection.
Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were.
In the same press release, Kash Patel claimed, quote, "There will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, and no stone left unturned."
So on the Epstein matter or any other matters, we are diligently working on that. I'm not going to withhold information from the American public ever.
Only to later claim on Joe Rogan's podcast that releasing any videos would re-victimize
those impacted. We're not going to re-victimize women. We're not going to put that shit back out there. It's not happening, because then he wins. Not doing it. You want to hate me for it? Fine.
Internal, there's a lot of, even within the administration, there's internal conflict.
Okay.
And FBI really wants to set to me command at FBI has been like positive these because he's like, no, these have to be released.
And so the FBI wants them out.
Yep, he talked to guys there.
And Bonnie knows it.
I don't know what that is. Bonnie wants whatever it's on.
Sure.
Why is there suddenly this internal conflict within the same administration that aggressively campaigned in 2024 to fully release the Epstein files to the American public? What new revelations did the DOJ and FBI make to now say that an incriminating client list does not exist? DOJ analyst Joseph Schnitt comments on these inconsistencies and informs our undercover journalist that even if anything was to be released, it would be heavily redacted in favor of the Republican Party, indicating that this DOJ official, Joseph Schnitt, probably leans Democrat.
Do you think like just stuff your Epstein will actually get released or not at all?
If it does, it'll be heavily redacted. And this thing won't be.
But those files do exist.
There's files.
Yeah.
Sure. There's thousands of files to page 5. But again, if they're released anyway, it's going to be very redacted. They'll redact every Republican or conservative person in those files, all Democratic people in those files. Have a very slanted version of it come out where it's like what they show without releasing any of their bad behavior.
This is James O'Keefe. You know me for exposing the truth and holding the powerful accountable. Today, I want to talk to you about protecting your own freedom, starting with your finances. Right now, the warning sign.
Okay.
And then turn towards
Okay, that was just, he was a commercial. So here we go again. Sorry, guys.
Ghislaine Maxwell under her highly publicized and unprecedented prison transfer.
You think he did that Maxwell person?
Yeah.
And also involved?
Transferred to a minimum security position too.
So,
which is against the DOP policy because she's a political sex offender. And they're not supposed to be in a security prison, which is an interesting detail because she's getting a benefit, which means or something to keep it off.
The difference between a low security prison and a minimum security prison is that minimum security prisons are designed for non-violent offenders with short sentences. They often have no perimeter fencing, and inmates are housed in dormitory-style rooms. We looked into the Bureau of Prisons policies, and Schnitt's claim is in fact correct. Convicted sex offenders are historically ineligible for minimum security facilities. Schnitt is also very credible by virtue of where he works inside the Department of Justice. This raises significant questions about why Ghislaine Maxwell was provided such special treatment at a time where the DOJ and the FBI are under heavy scrutiny for their handling of the Epstein files. The DOJ and FBI have continually promised transparency to the country. Why was the case's most significant witness transferred to a more comfortable prison life, all while Epstein's victims were still not receiving the justice they deserved? Why does it take a random girl in Washington, D.C. for someone like Joseph Schnitt to open up? Why are top DOJ officials spilling all these secrets in restaurants while the American people are not necessarily afforded the same transparency that they're promised? It doesn't make any sense. What we're looking for is people on the inside of the government to step forward for your private actions to match your public actions, to stand by the truth. And if you know more about this, please email us at tips@o'keefemediagroup.com or text us at 914-491-9395, and we will.
All right, folks. Wow, Lori, great, incredible. Before I even got a chance to say it, look at what Lori M. Pearl. Bravo. That's a person that's paying attention. Lori just said, where's Bongino? Where's Bongino? Exactly. You saw them talk about Pam Bondi. You saw talk about but what you did, and we're going to play it back if you want me to. There was a little snippet there where he says about Bongino. He doesn't call him by his name. He says the number 2 guy. When she asked him about the question, she goes, does the FBI want to release the files? He goes, I don't know about the FBI. I know the top two guys, especially the number two guy. He's causing a lot of trouble. Think about that. He's causing a lot of trouble. And that's something that we've been talking about here nonstop, that I've been raising the alarm. The one thing that, my sources have been telling me, and for some reason the media doesn't want to pick up. And today, that's one of the things that I'm going to ask you guys, is we're going to do a call to action as part of the things we do here at Love Remembers. And today, after we're done, I'm going to tell you what I need you to do. But let's talk about what transpired and why this video is so important. So first of all, for those of you that don't know who James O'Keefe is, or who Project Veritas is, they're a far right, hardcore mega. I wouldn't call them journalists, conspiracy theories, whatever you want to call it. So I know James O'Keefe from my days when I used to be, in mega, when I used to be part of Donald Trump's world. And I remember sitting in Trump Hotel when John Solomon, another far right reporter, brought O'Keefe into our meeting with me, Rudy, and Victoria Tunzing. And back then, he was bringing us stuff on Pizzagate, and he was bringing us stuff on the deep state, and all kinds of, basically doing the same type of stuff. And I was amazed to watch how he would literally, go in there and have young girls and guys pretend to be somebody, whoever they are, go in there and have these people in political offices just spill their guts out, tell them things that you would be amazed. You think to yourself, but yeah, that's real life. That's how it is. People like to boast. And the interesting part here is, first of all, before we go further, let me give you the two statements we got today after this broke. So the first one was from Mr. Schnipp. What's his name? Hold on a second. From what's it? Sniff. Anyway, so he responded today to what was put out by O'Keefe and Project Veritas, right? And his response was, and I'm going to read it out loud to you folks. I met a woman named Skylar on Hinge, a dating app. Now, is it me, or just the way that starts off sounds something crazy? Okay, so because this, I just want you to understand, this is not just a statement. This is on his, I want you, for the DOJ put this on their app, on their official app. Okay, folks. So this is not just the Department of Justice put this statement on their official app. You can't make this up. Like I say, this you're living through history that I can't even explain to you. Our great kids, our great grandkids are going to be talking about this time and there and say, "What did our grandparents or parents live through?" I mean, this is insanity, because this is not just dictatorship. This is a little bit of everything, craziness. So anyway, he met a woman named Skylar on a dating app called Hinge. Excuse me. In July of 2025. What did I do with my teeth? Oh, sorry about that, guys. In July of 2025. Her profile is no longer findable. Duh. We had 2 dates, August 4th and August 16th. She claimed to be an au pair in Georgetown. She gave no clues that she was a reporter or recording our dates. Had I had a clue, the first date would have ended immediately, and there never would have been a second one. Now, I gotta stop for a second. Like this does not sound like somebody that should be part of our running any department of the DOJ. Like I don't know how he's saying that he met somebody off a dating site, and he met her 2 times, And obviously, if you knew she was recording you, you wouldn't meet with her. That's why it was a secret recording. That's why they were trying to catch you. But the question is that you talked to a person that you've never met, and you met on a dating site, and you started giving some very, very detailed information about some of the most important topics of our country right now. And like, does it matter if she was a reporter? What if she was a spy? What if she was a terrorist? What if she, I don't know, what if she then decided to sell this information? What difference does it make who she was? Why would you be talking about this to her? But this is Trump's DOJ, folks. This is what we deal with. So then he continues. He goes, my profile indicated I did government work, but did not specify for which agency. I never discussed what I do at DOJ. No, you did discuss. You discussed a lot about it. It's bullshit. Watch the video. You talk openly. Here comes the interesting part. That's what we're going to get to. How he gets caught, and we're going to catch him on the little. This is how they get caught on the little lies. The comments I made were my own personal comments on what I've learned in the media, and not from anything I've done at or learned via work. Now remember that that's an important one. I'll get back to it in a second. I have no knowledge of the circumstances surrounding Miss Maxwell other than what is reported in the news. I also never divulge anything about what I do at work. I recall that she asked if I had any knowledge about Maxwell. I specifically said I only know what's been reported in the media. Now, first of all, that's all lies. He never said, we just watched it. And you guys, if you want to rewatch it, go to my Substack and watch it, the letter. But he never once mentions that this is what he heard in the media. If you watch the video, he talks about because of his position and where he does and what he's doing, this is what he knows and this is what's happening. He talks about Maxwell being transferred to keep her mouth quiet. He talks about all kinds of things like, that they're going to redact Republican names and put on Democrat names. He doesn't talk about any of that stuff being in the media. But here's where he gets caught up, where it's never been reported in the media. The things he talks about Dan Bongino. When he makes that comment that the number 2 guy in the DOJ, I mean the FBI, which is Dan Bongino, is what's it called? Causing trouble. There's never been reports about that besides us, unless he's sitting here watching us and listening to what we're talking about. It's not been reported in the media that Dan Bongino is causing problems. So when you hear that where you could call him. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to Dan Bongino, folks, in a second. I'm sorry, you could. I was reading the text. So he mentions that Dan Bongino is basically causing trouble. So that's not been reported anywhere. That's not been talked about anywhere. So that has to be directly from him being at work. Besides everything else he talks about how what information's coming out or not. But then we had another response. And this is how you know this is serious. Because I know a lot of people out there saying, oh, but this is Project Veritas. This is James O'Keefe. He's a conspiracy theorist. Listen, folks, I told you right away, I know him better than you guys. I worked with him. Not with him, he worked for us when I was working for Mega. I know to what extremes he'll go. I know what kind of conspiracy theories he is. I know to what limit, and that's the whole point. I want you to think about that. This is one of the top guys in the mega world that is now, you just saw it, basically gave an expose and had one of their undercover people go tape somebody to basically destroy Donald Trump, attack him because of him not releasing the Epstein files. So this is bigger than just DOJ. The DOJ official getting caught just validates everything we were talking about. But we knew that. We knew that nothing's going to change. We knew that, I've been telling you all along, and everything that I've told you so far has come true. My sources, God bless them, have been on point, telling you about from step to step how this was going to play out. So it's not a big secret to us. It's great to finally have it validated to all those people that didn't listen to us or didn't believe or didn't want hearing it. A DOJ official now confirming and saying the cover up is real, that they're actually going out there and doing these things and trying to whitewash all of the names that are next to Trump that have to do with Trump, and putting other names in there, talking about how Maxwell's getting switched over to keep her mouth shut, and most of all talking about how the interwinings problems between the FBI and the DOJ, between Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi. And he talks about how Patel and Bondi go at it, but he also talks about how Bongino, he doesn't mention him. See, that's the important part. First of all, he doesn't mention him. And then when he mentions him, he doesn't mention him by name. He mentions him as second in command at the FBI that is causing trouble. So and that is extremely important, what's it called. But before we get to our call to action, and then we're going to call it a day because we have a lot going on today. I want to read you a response for our leader-in-chief, narcissist, authoritarian dictator response to all of this. Because for those of you that think this was, maybe somehow, nobody cares about, well, that's the sad part. The media is not reporting it. And that's the sick part. The sick part is that right now this should be frontline news on all the media that a DOJ report it shouldn't matter that it was Veritas or even more because this is Trump's guy that's doing it. But the fact that, just think about that, Mega is holding Trump's feet to the fire about the Epstein files more than even the Democrats, more than even the media, because this is hardcore Mega doing it. And this is why this hit Trump really hard today, because today, literally at 8:56 in the morning, folks, just think about it, 8 o'clock in the morning, this is not some, team that met to discuss how we're going to respond to this. This was not some crisis management situation. This was Donald Trump waking up, watching either our Substack or, somebody showing him what Veritas did, bringing that to his attention. And this is his response to it. Are you ready? I'm going to read it. 8:50 in the morning, folks. The President of the United States. The confused and the badly failing Democrat Party did nothing about Jeffrey Epstein while he was alive except befriend him, socialize with him, travel to his island, and take his money. They knew everything there was to know about Epstein. But now, years after his death, they, out of nowhere, are seeming to show such love and heartfelt concern for his victims. I mean, this is even hard to read because he's such a piece of shit. Does anybody really believe that? Where were they during the very public trials? And for all those years before his death? The answer is nowhere to be found. The now dying, after the DOJ gave thousands of pages of documents in full compliance with a very comprehensive and existing subpoena from Congress, which was all bullshit by Comer, the Epstein case was only brought back to life by the radical left Democrats because they are doing so poorly with the lowest poll numbers in history of the party, 16%. While the Republicans are doing so well among the highest approval number the party has ever had. The Democrats don't care about the victims, as proven by the fact that they never did before. This is merely another Democratic hoax. Just like Russia, and all the others, in order to deflect and distract from the greatest success of a Republican president and the record-setting failure of a previous administration and the Democratic Party. The Department of Justice has done its job. They have given everything requested of them. It's time to put an end to the Democratic Epstein hoax and give the Republicans credit for the great, even legendary job they are doing. Did you hear that, folks? It's time to put an end to it. He just called all the Epstein victims and survivors liars. Called the Democrat, basically said that, this is not real, all Democrat hoax. And he's doing this after his own people, loyalists in his own party, are begging him to have the victims, the survivors, come talk to him. So this is where we are, folks. This is how the week is ending, with basically no resolution to Ukraine. Ukraine is continuously getting bombed. Donald Trump making it very clear that he's not going to punish Russia in any way. Doing exactly what I told you he's going to do and walk away. Just like I said, today again, we had, deadlines that came, deadlines that went, and nothing happened. Instead, he had a call set up with the EU leaders, and he sent his, Fixer Witkoff over there. And basically, they put pressure on the EU, saying that they need to step up. They need to stop buying Russian oil. They need Russian gas. They need to step up. But again, nothing from his sanctions. No secondary tariffs. No sanctions. Not even a Vlad stop this time. Not even a Vlad stop. And there's more to it that I'm getting into, and I've been working with my sources on some very powerful information about the actual compromise that they do have on Donald Trump. So just on that alone, I would recommend for everybody who is on the line to subscribe as fast as possible, because when I break this news, it's going to be to you, to our Substack family first before anybody else gets it. But we're going to get to the bottom of why Donald Trump. There's more to this than just him being greedy, money, Witkoff deals. What I'm starting to learn, folks, that this goes back to an operation for many, many, many years. And I'm talking about 40 years. I'm talking about many years. And then not just into Donald Trump, into others like Stephen Witkoff and others that are in the Trump administration that have ties going back to Russia. And a lot of it's happening. So I'm going to make a lot of it. I know it doesn't make sense now because a lot of moving parts, but it's all going to come together. I promise you, I will connect the dots for you. And that's why it's important for you to make sure that you put your alarms and dots on. So anyway, guys, I want to wish you an incredible, happy weekend. Enjoy it. Make sure you spend it with your family. We go through a lot of craziness now, but make sure you turn off your phones, take your time off a little bit, hug your loved ones, kiss your kids, call your parents, tell them you love them, tell your loved one you love them, call a friend, go out, get some fresh air, do something, go for a bike ride, just stay away from the media a little bit, because I promise you, I'll be doing that for you. Besides my son doing it 24 hours, making sure you get updated on all the news, which I'm sure you all subscribe to, but I'll also be here making sure that if anything breaks, I will give you the inside story of it. So take advantage of it and go out there and spend some time with your loved ones, because in a time like this, that's the only thing that keeps us sane and alive. And now I'm gonna for all of you that have not subscribed yet, now is the last you got about 5-10 minutes. I'm gonna go put my phone on charge. We're running about 5 minutes late, so I could charge it, and then we're gonna be going live for paid subscribers. It's a special paid subscriber today, story time with Lev. and Q&A at the end of it. And this chapter is 24, having to do with Venezuela. Folks, you don't want to miss it. So I will see you in about 10 minutes. Go grab some popcorn, go grab some something to munch on, something to drink. Go grab your books, those of you that have them. And where it's going to be an interesting one, chapter 24, folks. And for everybody else, God bless you. God bless America. Slava Ukraini, Geroyam Slava. And together we will save our democracy. Together we will stand and get back the freedom and sovereignty for Ukraine. We will get back our rights. We will get back to normality. We will be able to one day sit down and again debate policy and become a united country, what made America the strongest country ever. We will stop this division, but the only way we'll do it is by together. So God bless you guys. Go out and do what you need to do, and let's make our family, let's make Lev Remembers Voice from Ukraine grow bigger, stronger than ever, so we could drown out their lies with our truth that we speak to power. And for those of you that are joining late or joined late, I'm going to put this out as an email later on. Make sure you stay tuned you'll be able to watch this whole thing over. So don't worry, I'll be getting it out in the next hour or so. And for those of you, for all my paid subscribers, stay tuned. We have a special story time with Lem coming up. I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Take care.